Hi everyone, Lisa here. If you hear some banging going on, I apologize in advance. I am doing something in my scrapbooking room right now, and it's a little bit crazy. But anyway, today is Sunday, so I'm here with another SNL challenge. And for this challenge, it's using chipboard. So it could be any kind of chipboard, whether it's grunge board, naked chipboard, printed chipboard. And today I'm using printed chipboard. And I'm using some products from the Studio Calico July kit. It's on my desk, so it's very convenient for me to use. So I have these 4 pictures, and they're of my daughter on her 15th birthday, and she's going to be 17 right away, so it's a couple years old. But there was 4 of them, so I just cut them down to 3 inches wide. I still kept the height of 6 inches, but I just cut them down to 3 inches wide so that I could kind of have, what do you call it? It almost looks like a motion picture, because it's got like all of the individual shots of her and her cake, and she's just being really silly. And if you know Natasha, she's just a silly girl anyway. So I had these chip and stick banners from the Woodland Park collection from October Afternoon, and I got this in a Studio Calico kit a while ago, and I just didn't know how to use them quite well. So with this challenge, I decided I was going to make almost like a party banner with them. So that was the idea that I saw behind them. And that little square chipboard piece, I don't end up using the Starburst one, but that square chipboard piece is from, I think, the Follow Your Wings or something like that. And it's like the Be Amazing from My Mind's Eye, or Be Awesome, or Be Happy. I can't remember. It's the girl line of that. So I have pretty much the concept of my layout, how I want it to be. And the nice thing with using, even if you use 3 of the 4x6 photos, or using something in a long line where the pictures take up the most room, it doesn't really need a lot of embellishments, because the pictures are a huge focus in it, so the embellishments are a little light. So I felt that this was a really easy layout to put together. And I used these letter thicker, they're not letter thickers, they're letter stickers, and they're from Pebbles, and they're almost like a chalkboard. I'm not sure if they are or they're not, but they're this black, and I didn't have a lot of black, but that one pennant banner up in the top corner, the round one, that one is black and white, so I needed to pull in some black to kind of make it feel like it fits. So I decided to do that. So I have a birthday silliness, because she's just being silly. So I just have that laid out, just playing around with the placement of it, and I have it on wax paper, so it's easier to see where I want it to go. And of course I got that putting the title on wax paper from Mercy Tiara. So, and here at the bottom, I'm just laying the chipboard down. I'm not actually sticking it down, and I just wanted to see what it would look like if I put all these little pennant pieces on the bottom of the page, and I really like that. So once I decided I liked that, I was going to peel everything up and start sticking things down. So here I'm just gluing everything down in all the little layers. And I don't know why I did this. I put the gray piece down towards the bottom. I thought maybe about, pulling the pictures down a little bit, but then I forgot about the pennant pieces, so that didn't work. So you'll see me in a little while here. I'm going to peel them up. And here I'm just going to glue down each of those pieces, or the pictures, sorry. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit, just because it took me a little while just to get it straight. I don't know why when it comes to lining up too many items, it takes me forever to line them up. I'm not even sure why. So here's how they all line up, and then all of a sudden I figured out that I needed to pull everything up to the middle of the page. And I'm pulling some black baker's twine out, because I'm thinking I'm going to kind of make it look like those banners are hanging in a pennant style. So here again is how I said I was peeling everything up and going to move it up on the page a little bit. So it's more towards the middle of the page. I know a lot of people say, you know, keep your page in thirds, but because these pictures are all in a horizontal line and there is so many of them, really that is where your eye is going to go to anyway. And the other way to look at it is if you kind of break the page up into thirds, my daughter's head is kind of in line with the thirds line, so to speak. So then it does work because I want the attention to be on her face and not on the cake so much. So here I glued everything down, and now I'm just taking those little pennants and I'm just kind of picking and choosing ones as I go and gluing them, or well, not really gluing, but sticking them down to the page and making like a little pennant banner piece. And even though there isn't a lot of these other colors going on, there really is only gray, this kind of yellowish orange paper in the background, and then this white. But somehow it works. I don't know how it works, but I wish I was a color, you know, to explain colors to you, and I can't. I'm not really great on explaining why certain colors go together or not, but these ones really seem to go. And there's pinks, and there's greens, and there's blacks and blues, and I just think it works so well together just because there's some of these pennants up at the top, and it kind of makes it work towards the bottom. And I just wasn't even going to argue with it. I was just going to go with the flow and just make it work. So, and it does. So I think it has to do with adding the black elements into the page that makes them work. I think that's what I'm going to say happened, is the black kind of grounded everything and made it work. So, and I'm just taking some more baker's twine and I'm going to wrap it along the bottom and just staple it, and then just trim off the edges rather than wrapping it all the way around. I find when I wrap it all the way around and then I stick it into the page protector, the baker's twine will kind of like lift up, and then it's not where it needs to be. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but if I just put the baker's twine down in a line and then stapled it in place, then I knew it was going to stay. So that was my thinking anyway. And then I'm just going to add that other strip, and it's just a white piece of paper, and it's got these really tiny little blue circles that are just outlines of circles. So it just added a white element into the page. And here I'm just sticking down my title. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to mention a couple of things while you guys are watching me work away. We have a new Facebook group called Sandra and I should say. Sandra and I have a new Facebook group out there, and it's called Will Craft for Supplies. Now, how it works is you kind of pay yourself. You put your money in your piggy bank, and you pay yourself based on the project you complete. So, for example, today I finished this layout, and layouts are worth $5. So I would put $5 into my piggy bank. And I highly recommend that when you do this, you kind of either have a virtual piggy bank or you actually have a physical jar. And it kind of depends on where you want to go scrapbooking, like where you want to make your purchases for that next month. So for example, for August, I think my total right now is $52. So I usually do my purchases online. So I will make sure that my PayPal account has $52 in it. And I usually update it every week. I usually make sure I deposit some more money into my PayPal account every week. And then that way everything balances. And then at the end of the month, so in August, I will have a certain amount of money set aside to make some purchases with. So it's kind of a way to reward yourself for some hard work. And we do have other things. We have cards. We have we have money allocated for different things, I should say. So we have for cards, for swaps, cleaning your scrapbooking room, doing your printing out your pictures, altered items. There's a lot of different things that we've put on there, and we always ask people, to say if there's something on there that we don't have on the list, please let us know, so that way we can add it to the list so that you can kind of pay yourself for it. It's just a better way to budget your money. I tried the 50 projects, and I did the 50 projects, and it worked out awesome. However, my problem was after the 50 projects was over, I blew my budget, and I was doing really well before with my shopping, because I would budget myself every month accordingly because I knew how much I could spend, but I still wasn't creating. I was just buying. So this way, it kind of gets you creating to pay yourself, and keeping within your budget. So that's the main thing. That's kind of the whole premise of the group, and I hope I explained it well enough. So there's that part. The other thing I was going to tell you is that Sandra and I would love for you guys to join in these challenges. So for example, this one is the Chipboard challenge. So we hope you play along. There's a couple ways you can play. Either you can leave a video response to either mine or Sandra's to our YouTube page, or you can leave us a PM telling us where your picture is, whether it's on a blog. Or you can join us over on the Will Craft for Supplies Facebook page, and then all you have to do is just tag us with your picture for joining in the challenge, because we really, really would like for you guys to join in. And it's a lot of fun. It gets you kind of thinking outside the box. So please join us, and we would love to see what you guys make. So with all that scrappy news being done, I just thought I would jump back in and tell you what I'm doing. So you can see I tied a couple bows, one for the top, or two for the top part of the banner, and one down on the bottom, and that is more or less just to just add a little bit of accent to make it look like it's an actual banner. And then I'm taking out staples right now, because that one piece of baker's twine that I had glued down, it kind of pulled through the staples, so it wasn't going to sit very well. So I am coming in here with some glossy accents, and I'm just going to glue it along the bottom of these little banner pieces, and then stick it down. And then I know for a fact it won't move, because glossy accents is like concrete after it's dry. So we're just doing that. And then I'm just going to trim the sides off here. And then I'm going to come back in with this chipboard shape, but it's sitting on top of that banner that has the chipboard, so it's adding a little bit of an extra depth to it. So I have to add some pop dots to the top of that to make sure that it's going to kind of sit a little level. And I'm just fussing with that bow just to make it sit a little closer towards that chipboard piece. And I'm going to staple these bows down, and I'm going to be off screen a little bit, so sorry about that, guys. Alright, so here I'm just coming in, and I'm going to journal on that little chipboard shape. It just had the perfect little spot for adding journaling, so I'm wanting to make sure I put that in there, because the rest of the layout is quite busy, so it just was a perfect spot to add a little bit of journaling. And that bow felt like it was just getting a little lost in the layout, so I added this label piece behind it. And then I'm going to go to my brads, and I'm going to add a brad under, kind of on top of that label piece, just because there was a blank spot there. So it's just with a little, it has a little arrow pointing towards it. So I thought that would be perfect to point towards the journaling. So there, I'm just kind of moving, I'm just twisting it to make sure the arrow sits a little straighter, and then of course just fussing with the bow again. And then I felt like the top was a little bit blank, so I went back into my Studio Calico kit, and I was looking through shapes, and there was this little cork tag that said hello on it, and I just love those little cork tags. I wish I had more. And then there was this other kind of transparency piece that said "Oh snap," and I just thought that kind of looked a little almost like, well, she's being silly in the photo, so I thought it kind of fit very well with the page. And then there was this little cupcake brad that came in our kit as well with one of the add-ons. So I wanted to use that because there was probably no other time I would ever use one of these cupcake brads unless I was doing another layout of a birthday. So I was trying to figure out how I could get that tag piece to stand out a little better. So I brought out these label stickers, and I'm just putting this transparency piece over top of the labels to see which one looks the best. And this green one looks the best, so that's where I'm going to put it, is in between those two pictures, just kind of break up some of those lines. And I'm going to use some glossy accents on the back, just because I have no way of attaching that piece down without, because it's so transparency, like so transparent, pardon me, to make it so that it looks like you can't see the glue behind it. So the glossy accents was the best way. And then just to kind of smooth it out a little bit, I just kind of rubbed the shape in a circle, so that way it would distribute the glue evenly. And then that way you can't really see the glue. So I'm just attaching this cupcake brad up to the top over by the title. So that way it kind of brings your eye up to the title. And then I'm just going to glue that hello cork piece down. And then, what am I doing? Oh, I'm adding some candy dots. It just felt like I needed to add a little bit of focus over by the journaling piece. So I'm just adding some of these little candy dots. I'm just going to add them up to the top over here, but it doesn't look very good, so I ended up taking them off. Alright, so here I'm going to show you some close-ups. And I really love how fun this layout turned. So thanks again, Sandra, for another challenge. And I can't wait to see you guys next Sunday for our next challenge. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So we will see you then, and stay tuned for the close-ups. Bye.